Shalom, welcome to lesson 7. In this lesson, we're going to take a look at suffix pronouns, Segolate nouns, and a modal use of the perfect conjugation. For suffix pronouns, English uses different pronominal forms based on the pronoun's role in the sentence. He, she for subject, in nominative case, his, hers for possession, genitive case, and him, her for object. Accusative case. In Biblical Hebrew, the independent pronouns only function as subjects. A set of suffix pronouns fills the roles of possession, genitive, and object. So about pronouns suffixed to nouns. Suffix pronouns express possession on nouns. For instance, if we read this from right to left, for my word, it would be word of, which is devar, combined with me, which is represented in Hebrew as a Hirik Yod, to become Devari. So this Yod represents my word. So in the next example, we can see for his teaching, it consists of teaching of, which is Torah, combined with him, which is represented in Hebrew as O, to become Torah To. Torah To. Please note that when pronominal suffixes are added to feminine singular nouns, the construct form, which is the form ending with a taf, is used. Suffix pronouns can also serve to make a noun definite. Nouns with pronominal suffixes cannot also have the article. For instance, it's either Torah To, his teaching, or Ha Torah, the teaching, but not both. Nouns with suffix pronouns are stressed either on the last syllable or the next to last syllable, which is on the linking vowel that connects the noun to the suffix. For instance, in my horse, it's Su Si. Su Si. Stress on the last syllable. For our horse, Su Se Nu. Susenu is stressed on the linking vowel. Let's take a quick look at suffix pronouns on singular nouns. So here's a table of the suffixes that's added to words, like a masculine word like word or a feminine word like law. But first, let's take a look at the attachments to the words. So for the third person masculine singular, a who or a vav is added to the end of the word. So, for instance, for his word, it will become devaro. Devaro. For a feminine word like law, it will become torato. Torato. For third person feminine singular, this kamete is added to the end of the word. So it will become devara. Devara. So for her law, it will become Torata. Torata. For the second person masculine singular, a ka is added to the end of the word. So your word becomes Devaha. Devaha. Your law becomes Toratha. Toratha. For the second person feminine singular, a cake is added. So your word becomes Devarik. Devarik. And your law becomes Toratic. Toratic. For the first person common singular, meaning I, a heroic yod is added. So my word becomes Devari. Devari. For my law, it becomes Torati. Torati. For the third person masculine plural, a man with a comments is added. So their word becomes Devaram. Devaram. For their law, it becomes Torah Tam. Torah Tam. For the third person feminine plural, a noon is added to the end of the word. So their word becomes Devaran. Devaran. And their law becomes Toratan. Toratan. For second person masculine plural, Chem is added at the end of the word. So your word becomes Devarchem. Devarchem. Your law becomes Torathem. Torathem. For second person feminine plural, hen is added to the end of the word. So your word becomes Devarhen. Devarhen. Your law becomes Torat Hen. Torat Hen. And finally, for first person common plural, a nu is added to the end of the word. So our word becomes Devanu. Devanu. And our law becomes Toratnu. Toratnu. Next, let's take a look at suffix pronouns on plural nouns. So instead of reading through all the words one more time, we're just going to analyze this chart. In general, you can see that the only difference between this chart and the previous chart is with the addition of the yod in the attachments, in the suffixes. that we attach to the end of the word. So this yod makes the words plural. It makes the nouns plural. That is all you have to remember about this chart. Next, let's take a look at suffix pronouns on prepositions and the object marker. So, in addition to the suffixes of the pronouns, we can also attach prepositions like the lamed, which means for, to add to the meaning of a particular word, like so. And we can also attach the suffix pronouns and the other object marker to form, for instance, him, her, you, me, them, you, us. So it becomes very efficient as a language in Biblical Hebrew to express meanings. So please note that the prepositions im and at use different forms with suffixes. Im and it, respectively. In the case of the preposition at, which means with, by the way, this difference helps to distinguish it from the object marker at. Also important is the fact that some prepositions such as al, el, and art, they also take plural noun suffixes. So it's important to take note of these little differences. Next, let's take a look at some other suffix pronouns on prepositions such as he, ha, hamo, and mean. Just like before, we can add suffix pronouns to the end of the word to form more expressive meanings such as like him, like her, like you, like me, like them, like you, like us. So for instance, like him would become ka boku. Like her would become ka boha. Like you will become ka boka. Like you will become ka bok. Like me will become ka bokni. Like them will become kahem. Like them in the third person feminine plural become kahen. Like you for second person masculine plural become kahen. Like you for second person feminine plural become kahen. And like us will become ka boknu. So for mean, and the similar forms can be seen in the table on the right hand side, like so. Except that the meaning is changed from like to from. So from him it becomes me make nu. From her it becomes me make na. From you it becomes mim ka. Mim ka. from you becomes me make, me make. From me becomes me make ni. From them becomes mechem. From them, for third person feminine plural, it becomes mechen. From you, so second person masculine plural, it becomes me cam. From you, for second person feminine plural, it becomes me can. And from us, it becomes me make nu. Notice that from us and from him look and sound alike in Hebrew. A little bit more about pronoun suffix to prepositions. Suffix pronouns can designate objects or prepositions and on the direct object marker, the form of which is at or spelled out as aleph, vav, tav with suffixes. For instance, reading from right to left, he said to you, he constructed from amar, meaning said, with a lamed, with a shava, meaning to, and then you is ka, with a shava, meaning you, second person masculine singular, to form amar le ka. For the next example, he abandoned them. It's constructed from these words. He abandoned is azaf. So this is a direct object marker. This aleph, vav, tav. Over here is a direct object marker. And if we combine it with them, which in Hebrew is mem with kamets in the third person masculine plural, it becomes azaf o tam. He abandoned them. Let's take a look at Segolate nouns next. Segolate nouns are a distinct group of nouns that are originally monosyllabic, meaning one syllable nouns in the masculine singular. So the only thing you need to remember about Segolate nouns is there's a helping vowel called the Segol helping vowel, which was added to create a second syllable to make it easier to read. For instance, it is quite difficult to read the word king if it's Mao something. So a Segol is added to each of these characters to make it easier to read so that it becomes Melek, Melek. Please note that for the word young man, gutturals prefer A-class vowels, so instead of Segols, Ata was added to each of the characters so it becomes easier to read like Na'a, Na'a, meaning young man. Masculine Segolate nouns are stressed on the initial syllable, which is the original only syllable in the singular absolute form. For instance, Eved, meaning servant. Female Segolate nouns can come in two forms. Those with a gender inflection, for example, Na-ara, and those without. For example, nefesh. Those with feminine gender inflection with a Comet's hey are stressed on the final syllable, like so. For instance, for young woman, it will become na-a-ra in singular form. In plural form, it will become ne-a-wrote. For the word life, it will become nefesh. In plural form, it will become nefashot. Segolate nouns can exhibit the original vowel with some suffixes. For example, if you want to say my land, it can become a combination of this word with a hearing yod to become R Z R Z. Singular nouns can also use two-syllable patterns in the plural. For example, in the singular form, it's melek, but in the plural form for kings, it can become melakim, melakim. And in the plural construct form of kings of, it can become malkei. Next, let's take a look at modal use of the perfect conjugation. The perfect conjugation was described in the previous lesson as expressing perfective aspect. The perfect is also used to express modality, which indicates the role that a speaker wants a statement to play in the context. For instance, in condition, outcome, command, or instruction. The modal use of the perfect is distinguished from the indicative by its word order. The perfect functioning modally will have a verb subject order. For instance, and his father kept the word. It will be in Hebrew, Ve'aviv shama et hadavar. And in the next example, so Adonai your God shall keep for you the covenant. It will be in Hebrew, V'shama Adonai Elohecha lecha et ha-berit. The most common modal function of the perfect is to mark semantically subordinate clauses. These are equivalent to English clauses beginning with if, when, so that, in order that, because, which is conditional purpose, result, or causal clauses. In this example, for I have chosen him so that he might command his sons and his household after him so that they might keep the way of Adonai. For Shamru Derek Adonai, to practice righteousness and justice so that Adonai might bring about for Abraham that which he promised from Genesis 18:19. Let's take a look at another example. If he leaves his father, then he shall die. Ve'azav et aviv vamet, from Genesis 44:22. Please note that the perfect often appears in both the subordinate clause and the governing clause in constructs like the conditional clause above. Another common modal function of the perfect is to mark instructions and commands. Let's take a look at these examples. And he should stand and say, Hebrew is ve'amad ve'amar. So ve'amad is he stood, ve'amar is and he stayed. But it can be translated as and he should stand and say. The next example, and you must keep the commandment in Hebrew is Ve ta et ha mitzvah from Deuteronomy 7:11. Finally, let's take a look at some useful vocabulary. The first word on the left is love. Half love. The next word is tent. Ohel. Ohel. The next word is eat. Ahal. Ahal. The next word is a preposition with suffixes. It. It. This is also it, but this one with suffixes is eat. Eat. The next word is garment. Beged. Beged. The next word is cattle, ox, or herd. Bakar. Bakar. The next word means also, even. Gum. Gum. The next word means walk, go. Halak. Halak. The next word is slaughter. Zava. Zava. The next word is kindness, loyalty. Hesed. Hesed. The next word is statute. Hulk. Hawk. And with suffixes it becomes hook. The next word is a name. It means Jacob. Yaakov. Yaakov. The next word is bread or food. Lehem. Lehem. The next word is night. Laila. Laila. The next word is strength. It can also mean exceedingly. Me'od. Me'od. The next word is commandment. Mitzvah. Mitzvah. In the plural, it's mitzvot. Mitzvot. The next word means abandon or forsake. Azav. Azav. The next word is sheep or flock. Zone. Zone. And finally, the word for gate is sha'ar. Sha'ar. Shalom, and thank you for watching this. May be blessed by the learning of God's language. Thank you.